which is normal speed for everybody else. So, welcome to Survive to Thrive. Happy Thursday, everybody. If you have a copy of my Rainmaker playbook, I am going to be speaking directly from the Rainmaker playbook today. If you don't have a copy, email me, coachjohndietz@gmail.com, and just put Rainmaker. That's all you have to do. And I'll send you a copy of the playbook. So we're focused on seller listings, and I'm going to talk to you about three different ways to get seller listings this morning: circle prospecting, calling for sell by owners, working with for sell by owners, and working expired listings. So starting out with circle prospecting, and all of you probably have been taught how to circle prospect. Not sure if you've been taught the same way that I'm going to teach you this morning, so please pay attention. Um, and in the Rainmaker playbook, you know that I've written out all of these scripts for you word by word, including responses and objection responses and so on. So if I'm making a circle prospecting call to Megan, it's, "Hey, Megan, John Dietz, local real estate expert. I'm calling because your neighbor just down the street from you just sold their home. Matter of fact, they sold for a record price," which is great news. Our challenge now is we still have buyers who are looking for great homes like yours. Now, you're not going to say that the way I just said it on the phone, but I want you to hear the words because the words matter. Our challenge now is there are still buyers that are looking for great homes like yours. And I was wondering, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Simple, right? Now, what are you looking for? You're looking for the person you're speaking to say, "Actually, I was thinking about selling my home." You got to lead. Now, if they tell you not for another year, is it still a lead? The answer is yes. Is it better or worse than the person who's looking to sell their home in 30 days? It's the same. If the house sells for whatever it sells for, if the commission is $10,000, the lead is worth $10,000. A year from now, you're going to be looking for listings. So don't judge away opportunity because they're not looking to sell right now. You're going to nurture that relationship in order to create emotional proximity so that when they do decide to sell their home, you're their agent. Now, if you hear, "I can't think of anybody right now," I appreciate you taking a moment to think about that. And before I let you go, so one of my favorite scripts that I'm going to use if I'm on a phone call or face to face with someone is, "Before I let you go." Simply, it lets the other person know that the conversation's almost over. So they're not thinking about, "How do I get rid of this person?" or "How long is this going to take? I'm busy." So before I let you go, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send valuable information once a month and I call every 3 or 4 months to see how I can help. Would it be okay if I add you to that group? Again, really pay attention to the words, okay? I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. It's a group. It's a by invitation only group. It's a group of people that I care about, friends and family members. These aren't cold conversations, they're warm conversations. Also, when you are sharing with them that you're going to send them interested information once a month in order to provide value and call every 3 or 4 months to see how you can serve them. And would it be okay if I add you to the group? One word can kill this conversation, and the one word is list. If you ask them, "Would it be okay if I add you to the list?" You're done. Nobody wants to be on a list. It's a group. I already have a realtor. Cool. I understand, and I would still love to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. Pay attention to the words. I'd still love to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. Then, when you are ready to sell your home, you can hire the realtor who did the best job of staying in touch with you. Hmm. Now, play chess, not checkers. So you're having strategic communication with someone. When I have that conversation, I am setting up a conversation that's going to happen 3 or 4 months from now, maybe a year from now, because I know ahead of time I'm going to reach out to them at some point and they're going to be ready. They're ready. And they're going to remind me, "John, I really love everything that you've done and the information you've sent over the last 6 months. But, I mentioned to you before that I already have a real estate agent. Just out of curiosity, Lonnie, in the last 6 months, how many times has that agent reached out to provide value? How many times have I spoken to you? Who do you think's more motivated to help you achieve your goals? Who's done a better job of earning your business? Now, that's a question that the only answer they can give you, if they're being honest, is you have. You don't owe them anything. You certainly don't owe me anything, but you do owe yourself the opportunity to hire the best agent for the job. Wouldn't you agree? So tie downs are powerful. And when you use them correctly, you're using them when you know the answer you're going to get. In other words, if I were to say, you don't owe them anything, you certainly don't owe me anything, but you do owe yourself the opportunity to hire the best agent for the job, wouldn't you agree? And if they say no, then it just killed the conversation. But if they're being honest, how can they say no to that? They're going to say yes. Now, what do you do after that? You close for the appointment. All right, let's jump to I'm actually in the book, guys, so give me 1 second. Huh, hold again. All right, let's jump to for sale by owners. I'm going to pick somebody else on my screen. Hey, Megan, this is John Dietz. I'm a local real estate professional. I noticed that you're selling your home. It looks like you're selling your home by owner. If I had an offer, would you want me to bring you the offer? Simple question. Now, you're probably going to hear, do you have an offer? The answer to that question is, that's a great question. And I won't know until I see your home. That's exactly why we need to get together. I just need 20 minutes so I can pop by. Pay attention to that word, pop by. It's super important. What is that telling them? It's telling them it's going to be a short meeting. The reason you guys are getting no is because they think you want to move into their house. They don't know how long you're going to be there. So I just need 20 minutes to pop by so I can take a look at your home, ask some questions, take some notes, and potentially bring you that offer. Now, couple possible responses you're going to hear. I don't want to list my home. I understand, and I want to help you sell your home. That's it. I understand, and I want to help you sell your home. Now, in order for me to do that, I need to see your home. I need to pop by for 20 minutes, take some notes, ask some questions, so I could potentially bring you the offer. I'm getting lots of calls from real estate agents. Totally understand. And I can see why that's frustrating. I mean, after all, they all just want to list your home, don't they? What are they going to say? Yes. See, the good news for you is I don't want to list your home. I want to sell your home. I actually make more money if I bring you a buyer, you accept the offer, and I sell your home than I would if you were to list your home with me. That's a paradigm shift, all right? Because prior to that conversation, they're thinking you're calling just to list their home. And just for everybody that's here that's thinking, John, isn't that the goal? Maybe. Maybe it's the goal. If I tell you I'm not trying to list your home, I just want to sell your home, that's 100% fact. Because if you hire me to sell your home and I sell it, I achieve the goal. But if I had a buyer ready to go that's the right buyer for you, I'm going to bring you the offer and sell your home. Why wouldn't I? Of course you would. Okay, so a couple lead questions that you can ask with for sale by owners. When your home sells, where are you moving to? One of the reasons I'm asking, this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to slow down for just a moment. When your home sells, where are you moving to? One of the reasons I'm asking, it is my job to find buyers for the homes that I am selling, and you could be a buyer for one of those listings. What's the message? The message is if you were to hire me, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to make calls every day looking for buyers for your home. It is my job. I'm asking, it is my job to find buyers for the homes that I am selling, and you could be a buyer for one of my listings. If you were to hire me, you would want me to prospect for buyers like this, wouldn't you? Again, who's going to say no to that? Uh, So if they tell you I'm moving to Tampa, for example, what's important about moving to Tampa? How soon would you like to be there? What would that do for you? Tell me, what does your next home look like? Do you have a buyer's agent like me working for you? I would love to apply for the job to be your agent. Next lead question. What does a great buyer look like? I'm ramming these in here because I want you guys to get as much as possible in the short period of time that we have, okay? What does a great buyer look like? Can I share what a great buyer looks like to me? A great buyer is somebody who sold their home yesterday and they need to move in the next 30 days. Wouldn't you agree? Again, what are they going to say? No? Yes, of course, that's a great buyer. Or a great buyer is somebody who is in town for the weekend to buy a home. And if you were that buyer, Angie, if you were that buyer, are you out driving around looking at for sale by owners, or are you working with a professional like me? I'm working with a real estate agent. Of course you are. Now, let's say you're the agent. Are you driving your buyer around, showing them for sale by owners? Are you showing them homes that are listed by a professional like me? I'm showing them homes that are listed. Yeah, I agree. So if you're not attracting one of the best buyers on the market right now, which we just discovered you're not, who are you attracting? Now, the only answer, guys, is everybody else. All right, another lead question. Have you received any offers? What do the offers you receive look like? Has anyone asked if you would consider owner financing or a lease purchase option? Every for sale by owner that's been on the market for more than a month has had somebody approach them and ask them, would you do a lease purchase or would you do owner financing? Why is that? So here's the reason why. Because if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a home and I call Michael Wiseman and I'm like, Michael, I want to buy a house. One of the questions Michael's going to ask me, John, are you paying cash or will you be getting a loan? And have you been pre-approved? And if the result of this conversation is I haven't been pre-approved because I can't get pre-approved, I can't get financing. So Michael, if he's doing his job, isn't working with me. He's not out driving around showing me homes, Angie, because why would you spend your time driving a buyer around looking at homes who can't afford the home? You wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. So if that buyer who can't afford to get a loan can't work with a real estate agent, what's left? The only person they can go to is for sell by owners. You might as well have a sign in your front yard that says, if you can't get a loan, call me. That's the conversation with the seller. We're helping them make new decisions based on new information. It's a paradigm shift. They're going from, I can do this to, that makes sense. Maybe I should rethink the way I'm doing this. All right, let's go to expired listings. I'm going to pick somebody else. Hey, Mark, John Dietz, local real estate expert. I noticed that your home came off the market, and I'm just curious, are you still interested in selling your home? What do you think you guys are going to hear? A lot of different things. No is one response. I'm taking a break is probably the most common response. Uh, your response to probably just about anything they're going to say is if a buyer showed up tomorrow with a full price offer, they're standing at your front door and they're pre-approved, they're going to close in 30 days, you know they're going to close in 30 days, what would you do? What do you think the only answer is? Accept the offer. What if I had the offer? Would you want me to bring you the offer? That's exactly why we need to get together. I need to pop by for 20 minutes, take a look at your home, ask some questions, take some notes so I could potentially bring you the offer. Now, just out of curiosity, whenever a home that sells that doesn't sell that should have like yours, it comes down to one of three reasons, either price, presentation, or marketing. Now, just out of curiosity, which of those three do you believe is the reason your home didn't sell? What do you think you're going to hear? Most of the time, it's going to be marketing. It's rarely going to be the seller's fault. Most of the time, it's going to be the real estate agent's fault. Now, not only could I potentially bring you an offer and sell your home by coming over and taking a look at your house, I could also sit down with you, take a look at the market, and help you discover why your home didn't sell. In my experience, what we need most of the time is just to make a small tweak in how the property is marketed in order to get it sold. So, for example, I noticed your listing came off the market at $650,000. I'm wondering, what would you have done if you got an offer for 640? Would you sell your home? Did you know that the buyer who would give you an offer for $640,000 probably didn't even know your home was for sale? You were fishing with your bait out of the water. Buyers who are going to give you $640,000 are looking up to 650, not over 650. At 660, you were above the market and you were also competing against the wrong competition. You see, in order to sell your home, you have to beat the competition. And if you're competing with homes that are between 650 and $700,000, you're competing against the wrong competition. In order to sell your home, you got to be the shining star. And in order to be the shining star, you got to be competing against the right competition. Let's go back to for sale by owners for a moment. If for sale by owners are asking you, how are you going to get more money for my home than I can? I want you to use the watch script. Now, the watch script is Debbie. If you and I had a budget of, let's say, $300, we're going to buy a watch. We go to the store, we find the watch we want, we buy it, we come home, we don't like it, and the next day we're having a garage sale, so we're going to sell it in the garage sale. Are we going to get $300 for the watch? Of course not. Why not? Well, because people who are coming to a garage sale are looking for what? They're looking for a bargain. That's right. And when we paid $300 for the watch, we went to a retail store. We went there expecting to pay retail. We weren't looking for a bargain. We had a budget, $300. We found the watch. It was being sold by a professional. And at the garage sale, you're attracting buyers who are looking for a deal. Yes? Yes. And at the garage sale, I want somebody to answer this question for me. So take yourself off mute and answer it. At the garage sale, the watch is being sold by who?
The owner.
That's right. Now, at that moment, I want you to get super quiet. I just want you to respond with, you're right. Give them a moment to connect the dots. It's okay if there's quiet for a minute here. You want the best response you can get right there is, simply means they're thinking about it. They're thinking, that's a really good point. Anyema, I didn't think of that. I'm selling my home in a garage sale. Now, ideally, let's say we're selling the watch in an auction. Now we have several people bidding on it. Could we potentially actually get more than $300? The answer is yes. And that's what I do for you. By marketing your property to the best buyers on the market, by attracting more buyers that are interested in your home, potentially we're going to get multiple offers. They're bidding against one another like an auction, and we actually sell your home for more than the asking price. So if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? It's your closing question. That's always the closing question. So if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? All right, guys, talk to me. Take yourself off mute. Comments,
So
questions.
John, a little bit deeper into the watch script.
Yep,
Yeah, so people who are looking at a garage sale, they're trying to make a deal, right? Yeah. And you're trying to save on the commission. And can you both save the commission
that's
and
right.
still come out with the most money for your home?
That's right. So it would be impossible. Thank you, Michael. You're spot on. It would be impossible for me to share every script that I've got for prospecting sellers for sellers in 30 minutes. It's not possible. So thank you, Michael. You're 100% correct. And immediately that takes me to you're selling your home, Angie, in order to save on the fee, correct? Yeah. Is it possible that the buyer is trying to save the same fee? If you pull up to a home and you see a for sale by owner sign in the front yard, what's your first thought? I'm going to get a deal. Can you both save the same commission? No, you can't. All right, hands up. Come on, guys, talk to me. All right, thank you. Matthew Drexel, you're up first. Nick Demers, you're on deck. Let's go.
So, John, quick pricing question. I have a house right now that I'm listing in a couple weeks, and it kind of falls in between two ponds. What are
Mm.
your thoughts about pricing like an even number, like a 900,000 or 950,000? So you hit both ponds.
Yeah, there's an argument for that, Matthew. 100% there's an argument. However, it depends on inventory. If
Mhm.
there's more than 90 days of inventory, I want to be more aggressive and I want to be in the bottom 25% in price. So if you believe the house is going to sell for somewhere between 875 and 900, for example, and you're thinking, okay, at 900, I'm in the pond, I'm attracting that buyer. Maybe not, because are you in the bottom 25% of that price range? And if you're not in
Mhm.
the bottom 25% of that price range, are you going to be the one that gets the offer? So it all depends on how many months of inventory you've got.
We have no inventory up here.
Then
15,
price it,
15 to 30 days.
price it the even number then. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Nick, let's go.
So on the FISBO, how would you tailor the message differently, if at all, when it is their second home, like their vacation spot? So their motivation in terms of timeline and all of that is usually different. It's not, I've got to sell this to be in Tampa for a new job, et cetera, whatever. Um, and typically when I'm looking at these, the price is they're asking market value. Like I'm not going to be able to go in there and bump the price up necessarily much, if at all, to, encourage, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to cover that commission basically.
Right. So the conversation, there's two different questions here. The conversation is you can sell your home by owner. 100%. You do not need to hire a real estate agent to sell your home, but you should. And here's why. I can prove that you're going to sell your home for more money with the right real estate agent than you will for sell by owner. 100%. Now, Nick, here's the other thing. If they don't live in the home, I can go deeper in that, but guys, I'm not because of time. If they don't live in the house, then the conversation becomes, what are you going to do with the money? So, Nick, when you sell your home for X amount of money and you're netting Y amount of money, what are you going to do with that money? You're netting $200,000. What does that do for you? What does netting $200,000 do for you? What would you do with that money? And if they're, let's just say, for example, they're going to invest the money in another property, or they're gonna invest the money in, they're just gonna invest the money. What's the potential loss of not investing that money? What's the potential loss 6 months from now if they didn't sell their home, they didn't net the $200,000, therefore they're not able to do what they would do with the $200,000? How much money have they lost in 6 months because they weren't able to do what they want to do with the $200,000? Make the conversation about what they would do with the money that they're going to walk away from the sale with.
It's very good. Thank you.
Yep. Carolina.
Hi, guys. Good morning. As always, thank you for the wealth of knowledge. Been doing this business since 2018, but the more I get into this, I can assure you, I have a lot of confidence. I have no problem with that. It's not an ego thing. I'm just being very transparent. But knowing these pitches or these scripts in and out, at least as a guide, is highly crucial and important because it doesn't matter how much confidence you have, people are going to throw curveballs and you're going to have to know how to answer. I will say that I declined. We practiced last week and it was great. I declined taking a listing because of option number three, which is I was not going to be able to meet that seller's goal. I would have been the third agent coming in because they just fired their second agent. Very gun hold on the price. So Matthew, I heard what you were asking about price, and quite frankly, I would tell you to list it below the 950. That's my personal opinion, at least in the Florida market. I do sell houses in that price point, and it doesn't matter how shiny the house is. If you're out of that range and people are looking for certain things, I'm telling you, personal experience. But where I'm going with this is I am going to learn these scripts even better because I am the blah, 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 and I need to get to the blah so that I can work my numbers better because I am tired of talking, people.
Yeah.
I gotta get these things. It's just a numbers game. So thank you for sharing today.
Thank you. A lot of respect for you, Carolina. You're right. You are a rock star, and you're absolutely right. Uh, when you look at scripts, you either like them or you don't. And if you don't like them, it's because of you don't want to sound like a robot. You don't want to be salesy or any other story that you've been told or you've told yourself. Everything I say is a script, and you guys have permission to tell me next time you hear me talk to you that I sound like I'm using scripts. And I'm not saying that with any kind of arrogance or ego, but I've internalized them at such a high level, it's just communication for me. Michael, let's go. Joanne, you're up next.
All right, so real quick, for Nick, one thing that I've done when it comes to a second home is affirm and acknowledge. Wow, that's really great. It must be nice for you to have that flexibility. Acknowledged, affirmed. And if you knew that by waiting with that flexibility, you would get less money in the future versus more money now with the right agent, would you still want to sell it later?
That's right. Good question, Michael.
Circle prospecting, powerful questions. And this, John drills on this. If you're at the door and they don't know anybody who is looking to buy or sell, great question. And you can use this circle prospecting or just in your general conversation with your Ford conversations or Prague conversations is, so are you currently, you're the homeowner. So tell me, are you currently living in your dream home?
Mhm. Good
And
question.
if they say yes, awesome. And if it's not a yes, what does that look like? When would you want to be there? What has to happen? Is there anything in the near future that would make you a seller to move into that dream home? So work on those. Those questions are powerful questions that you can get an answer to, put it in your database because 2 years turns into 1 year very quickly.
That's right. Good job. Michael, one of the things that I've done with the dream home conversation is I've tweaked that question to, are you living in your forever home? And if not, what does your forever home look like? And here's the reason why I changed it, everybody. And again, I think words really matter, is dream home could mean their perception that that if they say no, then they're admitting that they don't like their house, or for some reason, somebody might look down on them because it's not the McMansion they think they should own. So
Really
forever
good
home,
point.
forever home. If not, what does that look like? Okay, Joanne Kelly, talk to us.
Mine was a bit of an aha when we were talking about for sale by owners and how they want to save money on commission. And it kind of triggered a switch in my head when speaking to a seller that doesn't want to offer out compensation to the buyers. And I took that conversation and internalized it to, okay, Mr. Seller, I understand that you want to save that money and that's why you don't want to pay it. And then I switched it to, is it possible that buyers also want to save it? And in this market, if we are seeing other sellers paying it, is it possible that we are rejecting any offer that could come our way? Because they too want to save that money and they're finding other sellers that are offering it.
That's right. Good job, Joanne. Proud of you. Guys, that's a wrap. I'm at 9:37. I apologize again for going over time. Gee whiz, this time flies by. Uh, guys, make it a great day. Onyema, it's good seeing you, and thanks for being here.
We love it, even over.
Thank you for that.
Great.
You guys make it a great day. I will see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.